Hi everyone, and welcome to the Purl Girl Knits podcast. I am Catherine, your host, and you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry under Purl Girl Knits, and there is also a Purl Girl Knits Ravelry group as well if you want to join. If you like this episode, please consider giving a thumbs up and subscribing. The thumbs up helps us to be a little bit more visible to other people that are not subscribed. And just because I am on a not regular schedule right now, please consider subscribing to make sure that you don't miss anything. It's been a while since my last episode. I ended up, once again, I know this is the same thing I'm saying since the last episode, but I've been working a lot. I've been doing a lot of overlapping in my jobs, and that prevented me from doing a podcast. I haven't knitted a lot, and therefore I didn't want it to just do a podcast also, I did record it, I think, about 3 episodes in the course of those 2 months since the last one, and 2 of them I just thought they were not good enough to put out there, and 1 I just never had the time to edit it, and then it was kind of pointless because I was further in my project, and therefore might as well just do another one, right? So here's where we are. I really hope that from now on, though, I hope that I'll be able to do more regular podcasts, hopefully, for the summertime, and we'll see how that goes. I can't promise anything, but I will really try my best. For this episode, there will be some knitting, crocheting, yarn dyeing experiment, and some acquisition. I am so close of being done with my sweetest pie cross stitch. I only have 1 pie left that I just didn't have time to catch up. So I'm just going to show it to you guys on the next episode as just one big project, instead of showing it a little bit on this one and then a little bit on the next one. So that's what I'm going to do. I've been doing a little bit of cross stitching as well, but like I say, I will do that on the next episode. It's really funny how winter for me is knitting and summer for me is cross stitching. Now that I am a cross stitcher, it's just kind of what I want to work on. Simple as that. I do have also a few cross stitch acquisition, which I'm also going to do on the next episode with all the cross stitch stuff that I'm going to show you. I think it's just going to be that way. So let's do that. Let's do a knitting and crocheting episode this time, and next episode will be a cross stitch with a few knitting updates as we go, because I'll have a few projects probably done, hopefully done. I have hope. So let's start with crocheting. I have 1 crocheted project that I'm doing for a friend of mine. She's a coworker and a friend, and she has a beautiful little girl who is, I think, about 4, in that range, 4 years old. And so 2018 was supposed to be the non-acquisition year, which, I mean, I have acquisition, I'll show you at the end of the podcast, and so you'll see. But also the use from stash as much as I can. And in that mind, I also kind of wanted to use the yarn that I know I most likely wouldn't use for other projects, or that I didn't know what to do with it for different reasons. Normally, I always buy things, yarn, and it's the same thing for cross stitching. It's the same thing for fabric, for quilting. When I buy it, I have something in mind for it. If it's sock yarn, I know I'm going to make a pair of socks out of it because I do knit quite a bit of socks. But those yarns, or I bought it because it was a really great sale, and I just bought it because there was a bunch of it and so I could buy like a pack, or I bought it to do a project in mind with it and then ended up using the rest of the yarn to do something else, and then I'm left over with that yarn and just never did the project I was planning on doing with it. So with that in mind, I've actually started a mermaid tail blanket. So for those who doesn't know what it is, it's kind of like a sleeping bag, basically, but for the couch. It's kind of a blanket that you slipped into. And that looks like a mermaid tail. So the mermaid tail pattern, I found it on Ravelry, but it redirected me on another website, but it is on Ravelry. The other website is yarnutopia.com, and she has different sizes that you can do, and I'm doing the small size, but a little bit smaller than that, because the number of chain, it was just giving me something too wide for the size of the little girl I'm doing it for. So I modified this, the chain count to start, and I just went from there. She tells you also on there what to do if you want to change that count, what needs to be like the math behind it for it to be able to work and all of that jazz. So here we go. I haven't crocheted in such a long time that actually crocheting it's actually kind of nice. So here we go. So this is the chain, the start, and I'm making my way down. Yeah, making my way down. I'm right over here, as you can see. I have about 5 more rows to go before I actually decrease the pointy point of the tail and then do the tail part. And when it's all going to be done and blocked, then I'm all gonna cut my little strings. The only reason why I'm using 2 colors for this is that I thought I had some pink. Just a side note, it's getting super cloudy outside for some reason because it was not supposed to rain, but now it's super cloudy and the sun is gone. So hopefully it's all gonna be fine. But yeah, sorry. And so I didn't have any pink like I thought I did. I think I gave my pink in September to an intern I was working with who used to knit just a little bit, but kind of wanted to pick it up a little bit more and knit more now that she was out of school and working and doing internships and all of that. And so she loved pink, and I'm not a big fan of pink. I bought that pink to do something for somebody else like 10 years ago, and I just never did. And so I just gave that to her to just help her out. I also gave her a bunch of purple yarn that I had. Same story. I wanted to do something for somebody else and I just didn't. And so I gave her all of those pink and purples that I had in my stash that I knew that I wouldn't knit anything for myself, but I didn't want it to throw it out. And so now I was stuck. I really wanted to do it in pink, and I just didn't have it anymore. But I had that green. So I decided to use that green and to try to just help it a little bit more. I'm doing it a little bit more child colors, if we may. I used that super colorful yarn. It changes colors so much, and it changes size also a little bit as we go. It gets a little bit thicker and a little bit thinner for some reason. The green that I am using is the Diamond Luxury Collection. It's Fine Merino Superwash. And it's a beautiful like forest green. I had 8 balls of this, and the only reason why I bought it was because a Stash, which is one of the local yarn store that I have, do those huge sales, at least used to do them, those huge sales, and you had like everything was 10% off, and then you had special bins that were between 30 and 50% off, and then you had other bins that were $1 bins that they were just refilling throughout the day as people were going through those bins like crazy. And that yarn was in it, and there was 8 balls of it, and I was just like, you know what, 8 balls, $8 total, I'm gonna take it. So I took it, and then I had 8 balls of it and didn't know what to do with it. And now I do. The yarn is 90 meters for 50 grams. Yeah. So that's the yarn. It's a great yarn to work with. I love it. It's super soft. I love the yarn. I just don't have enough to do a big project. It would have needed to be like an accent of something. And when she told me that her daughter would love a mermaid tail, then it was just a no-brainer. I'll just gonna go with that. And this one I bought, I think it was the same thing, but it was one of the like 40 or 50% off bins at the time. I don't know if they do that still. They do like a huge sale, but I think now it's more like a 20% off everything and that's it. Like, I haven't gone there. Last time they did that really huge sale just because I didn't want it to come back with 3 bags of yarn because I already have quite a bit of yarn and I don't need more. So this one, super colorful yarn, is Barocco Boobly. Barocco Boobly, it is the color number 5366. And this is 190 meters for 100 grams. And this one, I don't know if I have a color number. I should. Oh yeah, color 1420. It's a really gorgeous forest green. It really, really is beautiful. I have 2 skeins of this Barocco, and I had 8 balls of this, and so that's why I've decided to do 2 rows of green for 1 row of color. Here we go. 2 rows of green, 1 and 2, and then 1 row of color. And to just go all of that, because I wasn't sure if I would have enough of this, because those are 50-gram balls. I wasn't sure if I would have enough to do the entire tail just in green. And that's why I started to use the color, but I kind of I like it. I like the use of the color now. I'm getting used to it. Yeah, so hopefully that one's going to be done by next week. I'm really hoping. This is the project I'm kind of like giving all my time to when I'm at home, just because I kind of want to get it done. I want to move on. I want to move on other things, and I can see that the end is near. I am a little bit more than halfway through, I think, if I look at the row numbers. So I'm getting there. I am getting there, and so far I have used 4 skeins, 4 balls of this. This is the rest of the 4th one. So yeah, I honestly don't think I would have had enough. I would have probably missed out towards the end of it. But we'll see. Who knows? I might have a huge surprise at the end of the project. So this is project number 1, crocheted, and I think that is the only crocheted project that I had. And the mermaid tail is crocheted with a 6mm hook. Now let's get on with the knitting. The first project that I'm going to show you is a finished object. The last time you've seen it, I was working on it. It wasn't halfway done, even the last time we talked, and took me forever, and now I can't use it because it's way too warm outside, but I'm still so happy I have it with me. It is my Motor Die by Kate Davis. It's knitted with handspun, hand double, with mohair, and it's knitted with a 5.5mm needle, which I use my interchangeable, just because you're going from the outside knitting into the inside, and so you're changing the length of your cable as you go. So, Motor Die. I won't be able to show it all to you guys because it's so big. Wow. Now I've undid all my hair. And so last time you guys have seen this, if you watched the last episode, I was about here. Just over here. So I did the border and I did about 5 rows of color work. And now it's all done. I've made the decision of normally the pattern changes here. So with this row going inside, it's normal knitted rows back and forth, and you just pick up and you knit your square basically. I love the color work so much that I just decided to keep doing all the color work because it's so nice, right? So nice. So I've adjusted that. I've adjusted the middle as well. And I love it. I really, really, really do. It's so nice and cozy. And I don't know if you can see all that fluffy mohair coming out of. It's really, really, really nice. I would definitely knit another one for sure. It's huge, like it's a great couch blanket. I'm gonna use it as a huge cowl for the winter when it's super cold and I need to wait for the bus. It's gonna be so great. I've also used it at work because one of the places at work is super, super cold. And everybody has like scarves and blankets and mittens, and as soon as I finished this one, I brought it with me and I was just on my table taking notes with my blanket. It was great. It was really, really great. But now I've changed space and it's a normal temperature space. And it's now like 27 degrees outside, so I can't really wear it anymore. So I'm gonna put this in a drawer for the next couple of months, and we'll see when I will be able to pick it out of there, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be really, really, really great. The red on it is merino alpaca, and the color section is organic Polworth, I believe. All of it is hand spun by me, and the mohair that I used with the color section is leftover mohair that I had, and I just bought some gray mohair to put with the gray yarn when I'm doing those sections. So yeah, it's so nice. Okay, mode dye, finished object, super happy. Now I have mohair all over. The next one is my backstage knitting. I always have a backstage knitting project, and I have started this one last week, I think. When I have a backstage knitting project, I like to just keep it as my backstage project and not work on it unless I'm actually backstage. And yeah. So socks for me is the easiest thing to do. Socks or crocheted hexagons. Because I don't have to look if I'm just doing plain knitting, and it's small enough. It's just easy. It's just quite nice to actually have. And yeah, sometimes I drop stitches and I pick them up and I do all of that because it's dark, but it's still the easiest thing for me to be doing backstage while we're waiting for the show to start or something like that. I've put that on inside my Mully Klein design bag. My Christmas little rabbit bag. I love it. And I know it's May, and I do not care. And I am doing this in a self-striping yarn. And this is Lana Grossa yarn. And so it is, like you can see on the tag, it is a self-striping yarn. I mean, you see it too by now. And, ooh, this is not in English. I'm gonna go with the color 01808. I think that's what the color is. It's in Italian, that's why I'm, yeah. And it is 80% wool, 20% polyamide, and it's 420 meters for 100 grams. This is a pair of men's socks that I'm doing right now. So, pair of men's socks. This is my normal vanilla men's socks recipe, which is 68 stitches, rounded toe. The only difference is that I normally do a fish lips kiss heel. Wow. And on this one, I'm going to try to do an afterthought heel with scrap yarn. So I have put, oh, it's actually starting to rain. So I have put my scrap yarn right over here. I did do a true afterthought heel on another pair of socks, and it was fine. I'm trying the scrap yarn for the only reason that it's 2 less ends to actually weave in the heel section. That's the only reason why I'm trying that. And I'll see how that goes. Because I really love for those stripy yarns to just do the stripy toe that goes with it. The heel, sorry, the stripy heel. So I have about half of the leg done. The foot is done. I have half of the leg done. I have another half to do, and then we'll do the heel. Ooh, it might actually thunder. We might have a thunderstorm. So this is a pair of socks that have started and is now in the making. And this is knitted with, I have a 2.5 Chiagu sock needles to start it. And I have a 2.5 Chiagu 9-inch circular for the socks. I really, really love my 9-inch. I really, really do. Okay. Next, I'm going to show you a little bit of the cozy memory blanket because I did added quite a bit of squares to it. On the last big show that I did, I couldn't knit backstage, and so in those cases I just like to have something quick and easy to do in the green room while we are waiting. And so this was my green room knitting. So this was the big part that you guys have seen multiple times, because this is where I kind of started my blanket. And we have added okay. I'm gonna try to get closer to the camera a little bit. I'm gonna move my notes. My hook. Okay. I just want to make sure I have the front part. Okay, so I've showed you those 2 base square on the last episode, and I have connected my, that was already on my blanket. So I have connected my new base square with a piece of brown yarn, which is, I believe, sweet fiber. I have connected my second base square with one of the natural dye that I've done, last summer or fall. And then I've added this one, which is the Fun and the Fox, as well as this one, which is the Fun and the Fox. I really, really, really like this one. And then I've added some leftover green that I had from my Christmas pair of socks. And I've added another leftover for, this was one of the pair of socks that I did last year. So this is all the ones that I've added on this side. Okay, and those two were part of the previous version of the blanket. And then I've showed you this base square, which is the green, the same green as the other one I've showed you. This one, which is a crazy Zober ball that I've done multiple pair of socks with. Another pair of socks. And the sweater I've done right before Christmas. And so I've connected them with this one, which is a Sweet Fiber Mini. I've added this one, which is one of the natural dye that I've done last fall. Same here, another natural dye that I've done last fall. Fun and the Fox, the same one you've seen on the other side. The Lorna's Lace Aslan colorway, which is the same one that was on the other side. Natural dyed that I've done last fall. Brown, the same one, the Sweet Fiber that was on the other side. Sweet Fiber Minis. This was an exchange that I had, and that was it. So I'm trying to do as wide as I want this to be. So I need about, I think I calculated 6 more base square to have the length that I want. So I basically want it to be, I want to be able to put that on my bed and also have that on the couch if I wanted to. So that's the goal. And if I have the length that I want, then I can actually start filling up those half squares that I will need to fill up eventually. And then actually square it as I go, instead of having a full square at the end that I have to work on. So this is the Cozy Memory blanket. It's like a garland now. It's getting bigger. There's so many ends. I'm trying to find a solution for those ends because I do not want to put those in, to weave those in. So I need to find a solution for the back of what I'm going to do in the back. Do I put a piece of fabric on there? Do I put like my hexagon one over there? Or I see, because my hexagon will also have a lot of ends that I don't want to put in, that I don't want to weave in. So that might be just like a good way of doing it. Putting both backs together and go from there. So this is slightly growing, but now I'm kind of at the point where I'm repeating colors on there, which is okay. I'm trying to add them at opposite sides to help a little bit more. So that is that. Okay, now let's talk about acquisition, because I did get a little bit of stuff. Some of them has purpose. Well, lots of them have purposes. So let's start with the mustache acquisition that I've done. She did her Star Wars May the 4th Be With You shop, which was around May 4th. And this was all limited editions that she just released for those 7 days, and that was it. And so I've decided to go ahead and purchase some of it. So I have purchased Chewbacca, so Chewie colorway. I have another skein of this, but I originally bought it for my partner because he likes brown. and I kind of like it. So I got another one so that I can have a pair for myself as well. This is the R2 colorway in reference to R2D2. This is the On colorway, reference to On Solo. This one is for my partner. He actually requested to have a pair of socks in this colorway. So those are the 3 full skeins that I have, and I have 3 smaller skeins. One that is 74 grams. It is the 3PO in reference to C3PO. And with 74 grams, I might just see if I can actually do it. There's some gray, like really, really light gray in there. And see if I can do toe, heel, and cuff in a light gray and all the rest with this. And I might actually be able to do it. And I might even be able to do it without the cuff in gray and actually do the cuff in this colorway. Because I normally have quite a bit left over after I do my pair of socks, and I might be able to do it actually just with 74 grams. I think what I'm going to do is that I'm going to do this one first, one of those 2 for me, and actually weight it and see how many grams total I actually use for a pair of socks. And then go from there. And it might just be the heel. Who knows, right? But I think that toes and heels are going to be a good option. And then cuffs, if I can do it within that color, I think that's going to be great. So yeah, so I got this one. So those, I think, how did she call that? Partial skeins. So those were all partial skeins. And those 2 were partial skeins as well. This one is 29 grams and it's Yoda. I bought this to actually put in my blanket. And this one is 21.5 grams and it is the Ray colorway. So those 2 were bought specifically to put in my blanket. And what I'm going to do, because 21 grams is more than enough to do, I'm actually going to be able to do multiple little squares with it. So I might do one now, and I might keep about 10 grams, or it's about between 5 and 10 grams, depending on what I need, to put in my blanket in December, which I'm going to explain to you in 2 seconds. So this was the mustache yarn acquisition. And I was really, really excited. And I'm still really, really excited. And then somebody else had a sale. And they had a sale on their minis. I've been wanted to have an advent calendar of yarn for quite some times. And most of them are fairly pricey, and don't get me wrong, like they have to put a lot of work into it, and I understand. It's just not the kind of money that I can put in right now. And so if I want to buy those yarns instead, right? So I kind of have to make a choice in, do I get full skeins to actually build up projects, or do I get an advent calendar instead? But I remember last year, I decided to not do it because I didn't want to put the money on that. We had other priorities at that point. And then December 1st came over and I really regretted it. I was sad. And that was that. And so when I saw that that company had minis on special, I decided to go and have a look. I had a look, I looked at it, and I was like, is it worth it? Maybe I can build my own advent calendar. The issue with that right now is that I don't have enough minis. If I want to continue on knitting on my blanket throughout the summer, with the yarns that I have right now, I don't have enough left over to actually have 24 different yarns for the 24 days of the advent calendar. And so I looked at their sale, and it was in US dollar, and I live in Canada, so I did the conversion to see like what would be the price and what would be the deal with it. And I decided to do it because it was really cheap. It was really cheap. I love the colors that I chose, and I don't have a full advent calendar, but I'm really, really close to it. So those next yarn that I'm going to show you are bought specifically to build my own little advent calendar in December. And so I bought them. I'm going to roll it into balls already so that I don't lose that time in December every day. And so that's going to be done. And then my partner is going to put them into whatever we get, boxes or bags or whatever it's going to be. And so I won't know which one is on which day. So that's going to be really, really, really fun. So I got it from Gnome Anchor. And so they were the one having the sale. So it is, I have 3 packs, and I have Pick a Mini that I chose. So the 3 packs are 6 solid mini skeins, 20 yards each, 120 yards total, and the yarn base is House Gnome for the 3 of them. And I think for those ones too. Yeah, House Gnome for all of them. So I got the Fireside Mini, which is brown and orange going to red. And I really made a point of only buying little packs that I loved all the colors in it, because there was another pack, but and to not buy 24 just to buy 24, because I can fill up later. But yeah, so I love all of those. I love all of those colors. I also have the Neutral Party colorway. Here we go. So some brown, light beige, marigold. Really, really great. I really, really, really love those colors, actually. That would make a beautiful blanket. And I got the Oceanside mini skein. So greens, turquoise, and blues. And then I added gray and the color gold, which actually really looks like this one. It might actually be the same color. The only thing with those packs is that they don't tell you the name of the colors. They just give you the name of the pack. It really, really looks like actually the same color. Slightly different, but not, that might just be like a dye lot different. So this is the one from the neutral pack, and this is the one I got. But hey, it's fine, because I love that color. So I'm happy with having 2. And so this gives me a total of 20, well now 19, mini skeins to put in my blanket. So I have 19, and then I'll add a bit of Ray, which is going to be 20, and a little bit of Yoda, which is going to be 21. So I really only need 3 more to actually finish my advent calendar, which 3 I can easily do with leftovers that I have. And to be frankly honest, I will have leftovers from those ones as well, which if I can get it done before Christmas, then I could use those guys to put inside my blanket. So that was that was my acquisition. And now really quickly, let's go to natural dye, because I did some natural dye experiment. Again. Still went with food and pantry items, because I just like that. It's easy to get, and it's non-toxic, but not at all. So I really like that. So I did this one, which is a really beautiful light pink, but like slightly gray almost. And this was made with raspberries. I did this one, which is a beautiful purple, which I made with blueberries. And I did this one, which is a really, really light yellow, which I made out of orange. And the last one, it's not quite dry yet, but it's almost there. But it's not completed yet. And so this one I did a full skein. But you see how there's light brown and darker brown, and then speckled of really, really dark brown. I kind of really like it. Now, I've completed that 2 days ago. This is all made with coffee. I need to wash it and see what is going to stay on it and what is not staying on it. I'm scared it's all going to go away as soon as I start rinsing it and washing it. But we'll see. We'll see. I was really happy that I could get that really dark brown on there. But yeah, I'm just scared it's all going to go away when I'll wash it. But I will only know when I will wash it. So that's the next step. And this is all I had for you guys today. So a slightly longer episode, I am sorry for that. But that's what happens when you do not podcast for 2 months. And I can't wait to pack those little minis. It's going to be a lot of little winding into little balls, but it's going to be fine. And yeah, so hopefully next episode I'll show you some cross stitch and some knitting updates, and we will go from there. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great day, hopefully more sunny than mine, and I will see you next time. Thank you.